I'm just about done restoring this Cub Cadet 782, and I'm gonna go through the steering, try to reduce as much slop as I can. So you can see if I turn the steering wheel, it's like a quarter turn before I get any reaction from the front tires. If you look in from the passenger side on this tractor, you can see there's a jam nut here where you've got these two nuts coming out of the steering box, and over time you kind of have to tighten this up. So what you'll do is you'll loosen the outside nut, tighten the inside nut, steer it back and forth, see how it feels, and when you get it to where it feels pretty good, hold the inside nut where it is and then tighten up the outside nut. What you'll find though is it's really easy to overdo it. This is a tricky one to get just right. It'll get too tight at the ends if you steer it all the way to one side or the other if you overdo it. So it's going to take a little trial and error. While you're in here too, if you've got a grease fitting on here, it's a good time to grease that up. But now what we're going to do is look for anything moving when I turn this steering wheel. So I'm turning the steering wheel right now, and I can see some of this metal that's all attached to is kind of moving a little bit more than I really want it to. So I'll just go through all these little screws and snug up everything that this steering box is attached to. Little bit of improvement. Now what we'll do is we'll start at the steering box, and one by one I'm just going to go through each of these ball joints, or some people call them tie rod ends, and you can already see this one's just loose. I think the bolt could be tightened. And you're seeing the same thing here. As I turn the steering wheel, the joint is moving more than it really should. So I could do a couple things. I could replace the joint because I have one, or I could see if I can just get the slop out here and see if it's, you know, pretty good. So we'll take the little cotter pin out and see what happens. Yeah, that is really loose. I would say that doesn't need replaced, it just needed snugged up, so I'll put the pin back in there. I'm going to put a new cotter pin in it. And then we're going to do the same thing on the one that connects to the steering box arm here. Make sure you pick up your cotter pins so you don't run them over and get a flat tire. And now we'll just go through and check all the other ball joints. This one has a little slop, but it's probably not worth changing. And I would say we've probably cut it in half for free. And we've probably cut it even more than that when you include that I've adjusted the steering box. Those are going to be the main things you're going to want to check to tighten up the steering in your lawnmower. Eventually the insides of your steering box can get pretty worn and it might just need replaced, or the little follower. There's a what's called a cam follower in some of these steering boxes. Those might need replaced, but at this point, this is gonna be worlds of improvement. These little ball joints are also pretty cheap. They're usually like 2 for 12 bucks. So you might wanna just consider keeping a few of these on hand, because I've also had them break before, and you don't wanna be out of a job because you broke a ball joint. If you like videos like this, make sure to click subscribe below, and if you have any more suggestions, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Thanks for watching.